Now I have to ask you, Samsung Brett, as some of us call you, is it okay with you that the MCU started off using LGs? It's not meant as a burn. I mean, just LG used to be cool, and now it's just, it's not cool. You know, kids and their Palm Pilots these days. Down, now, down, now, 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 now. Iron Man. So Iron Man is written by Mark Fergus, Art Markham, Huck Ostby, and Matt Holloway. And of course this is based off of the Marvel Comics by Stan Lee. It stars Robert Downey Jr., Terrence Howard, Jeff Bridges, and Gwyneth Paltrow. So Iron Man is of course the first movie in the MCU. I always thought it was Incredible Hulk. Am I wrong? I could be wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong, but I'm probably wrong. And I wanted to use the whole, it's Iron Man, I shouldn't have to explain it, as its exposition, but I think I'm going to save that for The Dark Knight. It's The Dark Knight, I shouldn't have to. Yeah, you're going to notice me talking about how The Dark Knight was better and The Dark Knight was better. Get used to it. You okay? Just let me face off these movies that are almost entirely different, okay? Alright, so I have kind of a love-hate relationship with this movie. You see, I didn't know anything about Iron Man because, you know, in 2008, I had a life. Oh, look at it from a historical perspective. So when I heard about Iron Man, it was right around the time I was invited to see The Dark Knight. In fact, I think it was after I saw The Dark Knight. I, got home and I was like, that's one of the best movies I've ever see. What was that? And someone was like, no dude, you gotta see Iron Man. And I was like, you're an idiot. I mean, it's the Dark Knight. And I was like, why would I go see a movie about the superhero that was named after a kitchen appliance? Yeah, I really didn't know who Iron Man was. So yeah, after seeing The Dark Knight, I really frankly didn't care about any other movies for like 3 months. Or years. Especially a movie that's on the opposing team. So yeah, it took me a while to come around to Iron Man. And although I won't admit that I missed out on anything, because I didn't, I will admit that after multiple viewings, this movie's kind of grown on me. It kind of reminded me of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. It's just a fun origin story. Anyways, that's probably enough banter for an intro, so let's get on with my review of Tech with Brett's favorite movie, Iron Man. Characters. What is it with us obsessing over pretentious smart alecks? It's like we want to be friends with people that make us feel stupid, as long as they make us feel stupid in a cool way. That's Tony Stark. Hashtag Solo. Hashtag Malcolm. Hashtag Malcolm. One for every generation, and Iron Man is the likable butthole of our age. Yeah, I mean like 20 movies later, he is. But what makes him more permanently likable, I think, is because he's willing to change. He goes from pretentious rich butthole that everyone likes to humble rich butthole that everyone likes. And I think that when this movie came out, it was dealing with what was considered at the time to be the epitome of evil. Freaking bombs! You give up the bombs back then and you were king. And as for everyone else, they were just pegs that turned the wheel. I mean, it was a strong wheel, don't get me wrong. I mean, being a peg isn't a bad thing. I mean, just ask Peg. None of the supportives in this movie were annoying or really even forgettable, so, I mean, what more could you ask for? Okay, yeah, but we're cool, so... Acting. Yeah, we just weren't quite there yet. I mean, don't get me wrong, the acting was fine. In fact, I would venture to say that it was even good. But superhero movies were in a time period where we just weren't trying to impress anybody just yet. That's what the Russos are for.
And Christopher Nolan!
I will just say this, there weren't any bad performances in this movie. I mean, heck, frickin' Robert Downey Jr. is in the movie. I mean, what more could you ask for? Yeah, okay, yeah, you could stop now. Dialogue. You can tell that the writers cared about this. There's just not much to elaborate on. Although the last line of this movie is perfect. I'm pretty sure that Robert Downey Jr. just ad-libbed the entire movie. But seriously, that one line just summed up Tony Stark's character so well. It left us on the exact note that a movie about Iron Man should leave us. Story. Like I said, the story for this movie kind of reminded me of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, except the entire movie is mostly focused on just Tony Stark. Spider-Man put a lot of focus into its supportives, which doesn't necessarily work to a fault in Iron Man. I still like the supportive characters in the movie. Besides, I feel that Tony Stark was a far more entertaining character than Peter Parker was. Or Tobey Maguire, really. I mean, if I had a choice between watching Robert Downey Jr. fix the cable and Tobey Maguire doing pelvic thrusts, I'm gonna pick neither. I want to see Robert Downey Jr. do pelvic thrusts. Hey! So I'm kind of glad that we got as much Tony Stark as we did. He gives the movie replay value. I can watch Iron Man over and over and over again and still be entertained.
Predictability.
Yeah, not really anything to talk about here. I mean, the movie's predictable, but just not to a disadvantage.
Morale.
This is honestly where the MCU fell flat for me for the longest time. That and villains. And theme songs. I like what Iron Man learns in this movie, it just isn't challenging. It's where The Dark Knight succeeded so well. And yes, I know it can be considered unfair to compare two movies that are supposedly completely different, but you can't deny that The Dark Knight set a standard. It set a bar in a time where Marvel and DC were, The Dark Knight was just a better superhero film. And I know I gotta tread lightly on this one, but this is where the DCEU succeeded for such a long time and the MCU just failed. There was a greater focus for DC to challenge what was right and what was wrong in order to shake us out of apathy and make us think. Now, I'm not going to pretend like Iron Man didn't try to teach us how to be better people. Heck, I'm not even going to say that it didn't try hard enough. There's just something about a superhero that I can aspire to be that makes them easier to relate to. But that's where everything that I just previously said is just personal preference. I think it's no coincidence that both Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne play the part of contingency in their designated leagues. Bruce Wayne is a billionaire philanthropist born out of a tragedy who is more of a bystander of his own wealth. Tony Stark is a billionaire philanthropist who loves his money and is likable, and thus he is more the escapist's Bruce Wayne. So they both have their place in the world. Marvel superheroes are there to be fun. DC superheroes are there to be examples. So in the end, Iron Man isn't immoral, it just didn't need one. The movie is fun, which is exactly what I think it was trying to be. And that competency can only be commended. I'm putting this one at number 115. I feel like people don't let the triple digits get to you. That's out of 800 movies. Top 15%. I like the movie. It's a good movie. Go watch it. Especially if you just want to, take a breather. Once again, guys, please go check out. Did I say check out? Oh boy, I feel like a librarian. Please go check out. But seriously though, please do go check out Tech with Brett. I mean, the guy has fantastic videos on technology. I mean, that's like the center of everything today. And I always want to keep up on it. If you look at my subscriptions, you're going to see a bunch of movie reviewers and then you're going to see a bunch of technology reviewers. And of course, there's nothing better than a friendly face to go with it. And the sucky part about following these people is that you oftentimes just don't know them. And so they could just be terrible people, complete douchebags behind the camera. Well, I can tell you from experience, because I've known Brett for many years, he's a great guy. Go check him out, support him. You never know, I could be a douchebag. Thanks again, guys, once again for watching. Please absolutely hit the daggum subscribe button, and I will see you next time on MovieSlayer. Don't do the thing. Don't. Boom, 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 boom.